Good evening, everybody. Oh, let me turn on my face light. Hey, there I am. Good to see you all tonight. Good to have you all here. First of all, happy Easter to everyone who celebrates. This weekend was Easter and Passover. To anyone who celebrates Passover, happy Passover. I had a lot of fun. Spent some time with family this weekend. Which was a really good time. But I hope you all had a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week. Give me 1 second here. I'm just trying to figure out where I put my glasses. Oh, they fell down off my desk. That's why I couldn't find them. But it is good to see you all this Monday evening. Today I'm wearing my Outer Space shirt in in recognition of the Artemis 2 mission that NASA is flying right now. For anyone unfamiliar, the Artemis 2 mission is part of a series of missions to land people back on the moon. And literally right now, there are 4 human beings on their way back from the moon. They've wrapped around the backside of the moon, and they're actually currently seeing a solar eclipse from the moon, which is pretty cool. But they're out at the moon, about 5,000 miles away from the moon, making a bunch of observations and stuff like that in preparation for Artemis 4, which is scheduled to happen in 2028, which will land people back on the surface of the moon for the first time in more than 50 years, which is pretty awesome. So I've been following that mission pretty closely. So I'm wearing my Outer Space shirt because I think that's fun. But enough about space. Let's talk about trains. Although talking trains is Paul's thing. But before we talk about trains, let me say hi to everyone. Dennis, Mitch, good to see you guys tonight. Topaz was told DCC fitting 1 model would get you hooked. They were right. Yeah, that sounds about right to me as well. Good to see Garrett, Scott, Chris, says, also other Scott. Good to see you guys all here tonight. Hope you all are wondering well. I had to hit the reset button. There you go. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing well here tonight. We are going to be working on a few different things here. We've got this Penn Central HO scale gondola here that we started weathering last week for my good friend Corey at Ars Trains here on YouTube. Link to his channel, his channel is linked down in the description. So we'll be working on weathering this guy up. Get that out of there. We will be working on cleaning up the work I've done, and maybe doing a little bit more work on this GP40-2 model, which will become the B&CCS's bicentennial unit, number 765. And then we will also be working on a boxcar, which actually I need to pop over real quick, and I realized I never clear coated it. So I'm going to pop over there and do that real quick. That should take me only a minute or two. And then we'll come back, and while that's drying, we will be working on the weathering here. You also learned that you can, in fact, DCC chip the old R060 tender locomotives. Awesome. Great news. Yeah, it's as hard as it is very possible to DCC chip basically anything. It just takes some doing. And also, before I miss you guys, Seth and Thomas, good to see both of you here as well. Happy to have you. I'm going to pop over real quick and clear coat that. Should only take a minute. And then I will be back and we can get into the weathering. So, 1 moment, please. And we're back. Seems like we were all just gathered here together somewhere recently. Yeah, you're not wrong about that, Dennis. Thanks to everyone who followed me over from Paul's stream, by the way. It's always fun double-heading with Paul. His streams right before mine are always a great way to kind of get into the modeling mood. So that's always fun. Seth's working on some N-scale graffiti while we're hanging out. Perfect Monday evening, indeed. I did DCC into the old River Rossi AHM 440s for a friend. Ooh, motors, tender motors. Yikes. That's a tight squeeze, I'm sure. Good on you for doing that. And Paul, speak of him and he shall appear. Welcome in, Paul. Good to have you, my friend. Thanks for always opening up the night for us. Okay, so Penn Central Gondola. There goes the channel. Penn Central Gondola. So this guy is gonna get pretty gnarly here. Let me quickly pull up my reference photos. Hey, good to see you in here, at least for a minute there, Haley. Good to have you. It's good to see you pop in. Hope you're having a wonderful evening, and hopefully you get some good rest tonight. Weathering reference. Corey's cars. Sam, good evening, Sam. Good to see you, my friend. All right, there we go. So this is kind of what we are going to be aiming for. Now, this is not the exact same type of car, but it is basically what level of weathering we're going to be aiming for. So a lot of rust around the lips and in a lot of grime in all of the ribs and everything. So this will be a lot of fun. Just to paint it brown and call it a night. Yeah, that is the lazy method. We also got this one for reference too, so we might do a little bit of this. You know, this kind of big rust spots streaking down the car. But this is what we are going for. You know, I have plans to DCC chip 2.5 locomotives. Oh, I see. First is the N-scale Trix Decapod. Second is Kato Mike. And the 3.5 is a Jeep 38 and dummy. That'll be cow and calf. Nice. Okay, so first thing I need to do here is get some rusty paint going here. I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller. That way you guys can see more of what I'm doing. Okay. I had it here, didn't I? Did I put it all away? Dang it, I put it all away. Did I put it away? No, I didn't. It's just hiding in the back. There we go. 1, 2, and orange makes 3 colors. Beautiful. Good. Is there a location for this photo? I don't know. I really don't, Dennis. Unfortunately, I got this photo sent to me from Corey, my friend, who I'm weathering these cards for. So I don't even know how I would. I guess I could try and pull up a reverse image search on it, but I didn't source this image, so I don't have a location to go with it, unfortunately. Got your Captain tape so you can allegedly swap decoders on your SD60s. I'm not sure what to do with that information, Sam. I'm not sure what's alleged about that, but good news that you got your tape. Looks like somewhere near you. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, the geography is very kind of central PA. So, I would not be surprised to learn that this photograph was taken in Pennsylvania. All right. Your guess is Canada. All right, let me do a quick reverse image search. Do this. Let's drag this in there. There it is. Let's see what it has to say. That's why this car is larger than usual. Yes, I'm not doing this for me. This is for a friend. Excuse me. Come on. Just do the thing. No, I don't want AI mode. Go away, AI mode. Stupid AI. Ugh. Alright, I can't seem to find the definitive source. Let me see. Let me try one more time here. Upload an image. See if I can search without AI mode. Nope, it's going to straight to freaking AI mode. Oh my god, I hate AI mode. We're trying to do a T for T on Sunday morning. Didn't have the tape, which you only realize when you took the shells off. Also, you may have had to take the frames completely apart. Bottom line, you've never done it. I see. Gotcha. See, it looks like this image is from eBay, so let's see if I can find it on eBay. Hi, Jeff Strands. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well tonight. Five, 6, 4, 6, 9, 7. I'm spending more time doing this than I'm spending doing anything that I actually should be doing, but now I'm curious. Alright, advanced search. Search, including all of that. Go. Nope, that didn't work. Thoughts on Hot Project Hail Mary question? Amaze, amaze, amaze. It's such a good movie. Don't spend all night trying to find. Yeah, I know, but I blame you, Dennis. But yes, I loved Project. I got the book right when it came out, Sam. And I loved that book from the first time I read it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And then I've reread it a couple times, listened to the audiobook, and then watched the movie. And I thought the movie was a fantastic. I thought it was a really, they did a really good job of what's it called? Adapting the movie or the book into the movie. I thought they did a really good job with it. And it was, I definitely recommend, you know, if you have any interest in sci-fi or science fiction or you know, general science, etc. Definitely go read the book and then watch the movie, because both are fantastic. Excellent movie, great book too. All of his books are great. Exactly, Scott. I think Project Hail Mary is my favorite, but all three of his books, he's the author who wrote Project Hail Mary, for anyone who doesn't know, is Andy Weir, who's the same guy who also wrote The Martian, and a book called Artemis, which is about a city on the moon. And all three are really fantastic films, or fantastic books. And two of the three have been turned into pretty good films. So that would be my thoughts. That would be my thoughts, Sam. Is that I think everyone should go watch it, because it was a very well put together movie, and also highly recommend everyone go read the book, because the source material was great. Artemis like space shuttle, very similar to you know, I guess kind of, yeah, like same reason for naming the book Artemis as naming the NASA missions Artemis, is that, you know, it's related to the moon. I hear they're gonna make an Artemis into a movie too. That would be cool. I think Artemis would make a good. I think Artemis is not quite, I think, as good of a sci-fi movie, but I think it would be a good action movie. I think it would be a really good, like, because it's kind of structured kind of like a heist. So I think that would be. I think it would translate well to theaters as well. Is Union Pacific going to be the first railroad on the moon? At this rate, probably. Oh, I always meant to get into The Expanse more, and I never managed to. I just never got around to it. But I've heard The Expanse is really good. Dennis. All right. Well, first thing I need to do. Is just give a really good rust wash to the whole inside here. Need more dark brown. Oh, yeah. I started reading one of the books, but then I ran out of time at my library. The library. I took it out from the library, and I had to return it before I was able to really get into it. But I've heard that The Expanse is really good hard sci-fi, which is awesome. I forget. What's the season 6? They jumped the shark on the TV show. Where did my darkest brown go? So that's the lighter brown that I just put out. Is it out somewhere? Did I miss it? Dark brown went? Oh, there it is. Found it. Come on. Well, it's not dark brown I thought it was, but that's darker. You know, we'll just put a touch of black on my palette and we'll call it a day. Oh, never mind. I found the dark brown. Yep, UP is going to run the big boy on the Reading and Northern. Good luck and Godspeed to anyone who goes trackside for that one. You know, you're going to have to battle royale your way trackside. But that should be pretty cool. That should be really cool. I look forward to seeing people's videos of that. I don't know. I might see if there's a day I can get up to like the Binghamton area to see the big boy, just because it's, you know, likely going to be the only time for at least a good long while that I'll be able to see it, since it's so relatively close to me. But at the same time, it's gonna be a heck of a crowd, I'm sure. And, you know, various reasons, I don't know. I don't know that I'll be able to see it. Despite the fact that it's coming so far east. I also heard that it's going to Steamtown. Well, I know it's going to Scranton, but I presume that they'll bring... You know, I've heard that they're bringing it into Steamtown. Presumably to sit side by 4012. June 14 from what you've heard, Chris. Alright. Pittsburgh and Harrisburg lines will be wild. Yeah, no kidding. Look, Big Boy's cool. I cannot deny that. Big Boy is an awesome locomotive. But it's not that. I feel like it's not all that everyone treats it as. Like, everyone treats it as just like the be-all and end-all of steam locomotives. Which, there's a lot of really cool aspects to it. But I think I would rather go see something like Western Maryland 1309. For a few reasons. One of which is not quite nearly as mainstream. So it's not going to be as insane of a time going to see it. But I don't know. I like the Big Boy, but it's not the be-all and end-all of steam locomotives to me the way it is for some rail fans. So that's good enough as a kind of base for the inside of the Gone. It's a rumor it will come your way because it's coming back via St. Louis, and NS runs Louisville to St. Louis. That would be neat. Still not sure where you want to go catch it. Should be just a few blocks from your house, so you probably just do that. Yeah, that makes sense. Don't feel like going on any... true. Don't feel like going on any local roads. Garrett will definitely be going to see it because it is cool, but also definitely avoiding hotspots, not trying to tuck in and yeah. You will absolutely be able to track it via Google Maps, Sam. You are 100% right on that. That's really funny. Not really into big steam anymore. Definitely wouldn't mind seeing the Allegheny or Y6 in operation. Yeah. The crowd at Hershey Curve will turn into a Royal Rumble. I don't know. With the size of the park and the hill right there, it might be more of a cage, you know, hell in a cell, Thomas. think it's cool and large, but like you don't think it's like the pinnacle scene. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. Would I, if it was like going, well, the if it had been going to Schenectady, I might have gone to see it, because seeing a big boy in its ancestral homeland of Schenectady, New York, would have been pretty awesome. But, and I don't know. You know, gives me alco pride, but curve will be closed, open only to museum members. Well, on paper, yes. However, there will be people there. Anyways, have a good night, Garrett. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for always good to see you on here and chat. So have a good rest of your night, man. Actually, no, I need to keep these corners much more clean than the rest of the car. Heard that a few weeks ago. Well, it's good that they're taking precautionary measures like that, because people will be absolutely insane for the big boy. In terms of big steam, I would like to see Western Maryland 1309. I would like to see, when it's done, I would like to see Pensy 5550, just for the factor of, you know, seeing that thing come to completion will be an incredible achievement. Beyond that, I don't know. I would rather see, in terms of big steam, I would rather see something like the Santa Fe Northerns, or, you know, I'd like to see 611 on the main line at some point, or you know, see 4449 or SPNS 700 or 701 or something like that. I think those would be cool for big steam for me. And I say 611 because I've seen her before. I've seen her on Strasburg Railroad, but it would be cool to see her, you know, doing track speed on the main line. And then I've always loved 4449. I wish the N-scale models were more reliable to the point where I could, you know, maybe someday I'll get one. But also right now, it has nothing to do with what I model, and it would be purely for a nostalgia factor of growing up loving 4449. But yeah. DM and IR Yellowstone. Do they have any of those? I thought, well, at least not. Do they have any of those operating? Because I'm basically, if we're talking about anything in preservation, that's a harder question. If you're talking about anything in preservation, oh well, actually, I figured out something. Yeah, there it is, Chris. That's one that I will have to get to at some point, is New York Central 3001. You know, I may not be the biggest New York Central fanboy. I'm much more a New Haven guy. But growing up along the Hudson River, I can't not be somewhat of a fan of the Central. You know, growing up, literally rail fanning the Hudson Valley, I can't not enjoy a New York Central steam locomotive. So, I will definitely have to see 3001 when they get around to working on her. There are 3 Yellowstones left. Yeah, once I said that, I realized that there were probably some left in preservation, but I didn't think there were any. I don't think there are any that are operating, if I'm not mistaken, Thomas. Let's see if. I'm trying to think of all the preserved steamers that I know, what would I most like to see running? I don't know. Well, actually, something I do want to go see in terms of steam locomotives, something I would love to go see at some point, and will eventually. I just, when I have time, money, etc. to spare. I really want to go see the Shays running down in West Virginia, down at the Cass Scenic. I've always had a soft spot for geared steam. I've always found it so fascinating. And seeing the Shays run down in Cass would be pretty awesome. Not operating, nowhere to run it. Yeah, that was what I assumed. And once you get up to that size, if you're not a railroad like Union Pacific, where you just own a locomotive, it would be so hard to find somewhere to run it. And that's one of the big concerns I have with 5550. The 3001 is safe because, they already have 765, which they get out and run, with some regularity. So, and 3001 is not an exceptionally larger locomotive. They're comparable in size. So I'm not worried about that. But 5550, I'm worried about where they're going to find places to run it. And that's why it's like all these people are like, we got to rebuild the Hudson, we got to rebuild this and that and the other thing. And yeah, I agree, it would be awesome to do that, to go out and rebuild these locomotives, but where are they going to run? What's the point of having an operable steam locomotive that can't go anywhere? Well, I'll amend my statement. What's the point in building from scratch an operable steam locomotive that can't go anywhere? So, anyways. You have a running joke going on with Scott Rouse about an 020. That's hilarious. Hey, Josh. Good to see you in here tonight. New workbench looks good, by the way, Josh. Or no, that wasn't. Was that you? Shoot, now I can't remember. Was that you or was that Nick? I can't remember now. No, it definitely was you. That definitely was you. Yeah. I think. I don't know. Can't trust my own brain. I'll pull up that reference image in my brain. Yes, it was you. Okay, good. Whew. I'm not going totally crazy. That's good to know. Yeah, no, but yeah, it looks good. Looks like a good workspace. So definitely looking forward to seeing you do that. The ability to sit or stand satisfies your crippling ADHD. Yeah. I'm gonna undo that. Actually, I'm not gonna do it like that. I actually hate that. I think that's terrible, actually. Let's see. Did see a photo of an HO scale model of an 020 and an RMC in 1978. Oh, wow. Why build new steam to not be outdone by the British? All right. You got me there, Sam. You got me there. Or Paul with his fancy workbench, large enough to have workbench set. Yeah, no kidding. Paul's workbench is something to be aspired to. Truly. Right, let's see. Do I have my weathering wash here somewhere? There's a weathering wash. Not the one I want though. It's not. Doesn't have the pigment. Where did my weathering wash go? Paul does have a mega desk. Paul, you're here somewhere, I thought, right? Maybe? Maybe not. I don't know. He was here. At least momentarily. Where did my weathering wash go? Did I put it in with my paints? I suppose that could make sense. You know what? I'm not gonna do the wash. I'm just gonna not do the wash. We're gonna not wash it. Frustrates me that I can't find that. Man, it really frustrates me. Anyways, ignoring that and moving on swiftly. Actually, there's one other place I want to check. And then I'm gonna go check over there. And while I'm over there, I do want to go grab the boxcar. Make sure the boxcar's ready for lettering. So give me 1 second. Leave it over here. That's actually kind of nice. No, it's not here. It's not here. It's not here. Nope. Okay. It wasn't over there. But I did grab the boxcar, and the boxcar does look pretty good. Let me quickly just get one last spray on it. Do one more layer on it. There we go. All right. Moving on swiftly. You built a 6-foot model bench almost 12 years ago. 6 by 6 foot, using 2 kitchen countertops and have a 45-degree on one end. Nice. That sounds like a nice workbench. Sit at L with 4 shelves above and 1.5 below. Chair. Yes, chair cam. Chair cam. All right. So we're gonna not wash the sides with weathering powder or with paint or anything. Instead, we're just going to do like that. Get some of that going in around here. Supposed to be temporary for just for 2 or 3 years, and now going on 12 years. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. If it's a temporary solution, then it's a permanent solution in a mask. in a disguise. Get some good rust speckling going on here. Try my best to avoid it getting too consistent. Excuse me. Sorry, 1 second here. Taking off now. Sounds good, Sam. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight, man. Good to see you. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. And see you around. Sounds good. See you around too, Dennis. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Have a good rest of your night. Ooh. That's looking pretty good. I'm trying to keep an eye on the time here because I do want to do the other stuff I wanted to do tonight as well. Goodness gracious. Excuse me. Nothing else. I definitely want to get to lettering that boxcar tonight. Thank you, Mr. Says. Appreciate that, Chris. Have a good rest of your night as well. Thanks for tuning in. Always good to have you on and good to chat. Have a good one, my friend. And you too, Scott. Yeah, that's you definitely got to rest up to do that. That sounds like quite the tall task. So I wish you luck with that, Scott. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one, my friend. And keep working on that salt shed, whatever the thing was, the thing that you've been working on your channel, and my brain isn't working on. My brain isn't working to give me the name of. Keep up the good work on that. It's looking great. Sand loader, thank you. Yeah, salt is what everyone else in there in the server is working on. You're working on the sand, of course. Yeah, it's looking good. Yes, it is. It is, Heath, and that's because it's not in scale, funnily enough. This is the car that I'm working on for my good friend Corey at Ars Trains. He handed it off as well as many other cars to me to work on them for him. There it is. And then once I'm done with this base layer of paint on this, we're going to jump to something you will be much more interested in, Heath, which is a certain boxcar that needs some decals. And Thomas, yes, I will be doing some chipping effects on the ribs. Right now I'm just getting some basic color on them, but I'm definitely going to go back in with my fine brushes and go in and do a bunch of chipping down the ribs. Actually, the prototype photo I'm looking at doesn't have nearly as much as I thought it would, but we're gonna do a lot of chipping because I think it's a really nice effect, and we're laying a lot of the base work for it in what I'm doing now. Yeah, coal. Yes, you're working on coal, Mitch. I know that. But you're always working on coal modeling, Pennsylvania. Excuse me. All right, now the end. The end's going to get a lot more grime, so I'm not quite as worried about rust, but I do want some rust to be under all the grime. At least the tones to be rusty. There we go. So I think that will do for the gondola for tonight. I'm going to leave it there. Because I want to, not because I'm particularly done with it, but I've finished this kind of phase of it. Kind of step one of rust work here. So I'm going to jump on ahead to the next project, which is, of course, this here boxcar, which will be making its interchange run to the Riverside Transfer Railroad later this week. Looks like it still needs to wait a little bit longer on this to let the rest of that dull coat gloss coat seal on there. But while that's finishing drying, I need to get the decals out here, which I put in my decal bag, folder rather. Let's get the decals out. Right, let's see. Where did the B&CCS decals go? Bits. Hood decals. Oh, there they are. Excuse me. I believe they're in there. If they're not in there, well, then I got a problem. And I'll have to find them. Let's take out all of the decals here. Everything out, and then we'll work from there. Okay. Arc. We're going to need some arc decals. We're not going to need those big logos. We're not going to need this sheet. We are going to need that. That's all the decals I will need, I believe. Yeah. All right, we got it. Got what we need. Sweet. All right, let's go ahead and put the rest of the decals safely away where I can't screw them up. By doing anything silly. Is that where it's still in business? Well, I'm going to find out on Friday when I go there. Either I'm going to go and run the railroad, or we're going to have an interesting night. So, yeah, I've got 2 boxcars that are going to be returning to heats. Sent me 2 on decks. This one is just going to be a normal B&CCS boxcar with the ARC logo on there. The other car, Heath has agreed to donate some money to the Breakthrough T1D Diabetes Research Foundation in exchange for this lovely, lovely, lovely blue-sided diabetes awareness 40-foot boxcar, which doesn't actually fit the lore of the railroad. The only blue-sided diabetes awareness cars that the B&CCS made in the lore that I've written our what's it called? 50-foot PS 5344 per diem boxcars. Which, because they didn't start getting painted like that until the early 2000s, 2001. But for Heath, we can make some exceptions. If I don't get the loads delivered, we will definitely go out of business. Yeah, exactly. So long as I don't stream and operate at the same time, we'll be okay. But once I start doing that, then we're in big trouble. As we most certainly learned. Hey, at least that session was fun. Alright, now I just gotta figure out where I put the lid that I use to fill with water to do decaling with. I just have to remember where I put it. Put it in here. Not there. All right. Speaking of those PS 5344s, there's the HO scale car, which just got back to me last week, or 2 weeks ago now, from a visit out to the West Coast on the Arvada Western and Detroit Terminal Railroads, or Denver Terminal Railroads. Excuse me. Where the heck did I put that thing? What? I don't know. I don't know where the heck I put it. I just have to get something. You think you're gonna try to stream the session if holding up? Hey, you know what, Heath? You get 2 big thumbs up from me. So, I'm in. Also, Heath, I don't know if you want to try and get these cars into the session. If you do, I can send you pictures if you want to make car cards. If not, that's also totally fine. Whatever works for you. But if you do want them, just let me know so I can send you pictures of the cars. Where did I put that thing? Oh wait, is it down here? Put it on this shelf. Yes, it is. Excellent. All right. I'm gonna. Whoa. Knocked over my recycling bin. Couple cans went rolling. You're not going to introduce anything new until after Island Ops. That makes total sense, and I absolutely respect that. So, no worries. I just figured I'd bring it up while you were here live. I'm going to quickly go fill this up with some water. That way we can do these decals, and that would should allow this car the last little bit of time it needs for this gloss clear to dry. But I will be back in about 1 minute. So I will see you folks then. And I'm back. Mitch, this car is for one Heath Hurwitz or Human City Junction right here in the chat. I'm going down to his layout on Friday and bringing both of these 40-foot boxcars down to him because he sent me the cars up blank for me to decorate. All right, let's grab my X-Acto so I can cut out the decals for this car. Heath, you are getting 21202 because it's the top of the sheet, and I don't feel like cutting out the middle of the sheet, which is 21203. So I will have 21203 for myself. You know, Heath, I think he was going to stream, but then something came up, something about prototype modeling or something like that came up, so. All right. Go. Good. I'm going to turn this layer off since we don't need that right now. Okay. So, let's see, is this fully set? Just about on that side, and yes, it is on the side. So, we'll start over here. What I will do, actually, I don't believe you. He knows nothing about prototypes. Yeah, that sounds about right. All right, let me pull up my reference photo here. Trains, paint schemes, B&CCS. I gotta finish organizing this box cars. 40-foot PS1. This one right here. Island hops better not sink. Yeah, I'm upset. I'm not upset. I'm disappointed. That and originally I said I wasn't gonna be able to do island ops because I was going up to Syracuse, but now I can't even go up to Syracuse. I didn't realize until a couple weeks ago, or actually last week. I didn't realize until last week that actually it both ops weekends fall on the same op session, or fall on the same weekend as my brother's high school show. So I will be supporting my brother instead of operating, which is disappointing because I was looking forward to running ops, whether it would have been down on Long Island or up in Syracuse. I was looking forward to doing some ops, but family comes first. So I canceled. I canceled both. I'm unfortunately not going to be at either ops weekend. I have two of them, Heath. One is a senior at SUNY ESF, School of Environmental Science and Forestry. Excuse me. And the other is a junior in high school. And the weekend of both Island Ops and Ops Till You Drop, which I was going up to Syracuse to visit my middle brother, and do Ops Till You Drop. But I realized that my youngest brother has his show that same weekend, and so I will be supporting my youngest brother in his high school show instead. They will be doing Mamma Mia, and he is very excited about it. All right. Ooh, it's been a little bit since I've decaled. Let's make sure I can still do this. I am the oldest of three. Yes, oldest of three children that my parents have. tweezers. There they are. All right, there we go. Let's get into the decaling. I'm gonna get into the mind space of decaling. Do that, so I got that for reference. Union specific, still use it. Zone track spot. Yeah, I'll be doing some zone track spot on Friday. We'll start with the logo, because the logo is fairly easy to get on there, right? And we'll go from there. So I made my order tonight for some stuff from Pfeiffer Hobby Supply, as he's going into semi-retirement. I was debating potentially picking up a new locomotive, but I decided against it because I don't have any need for one right now, and I don't have anything. Well, I don't. I have too many projects on the workbench already. So, do my brothers look to me for guidance? Scary thoughts. Well, from time to time. Let's see. What is odd? One yard you work has 5 tracks, but according to Zone Track Spot, it has 2 separate yards. Fascinating. I'd like to talk to you more about it. You're using it on your layout. Curious how accurate you are. Is this the yard you showed me? You said it was actually 2 halves. We would really appreciate it. Yes. Well, Heath would appreciate having the book. He would flip through the pages once or twice, and then he will stick it up with all the rest of his books. Which is nothing wrong with that. I have a couple dozen books over there doing the exact same thing. However, just saying it how it is, Heath. But prototype books are really quite awesome reference. And yeah, I forget that you actually do work on the railroad sometimes, Thomas. You do have the most accurate reference material anyone could ask for, theoretically. East Minneapolis, the 2 tracks they use for double stack is considered East St. Paul. Fascinating. Do not tell your secrets. Oops, my bad. Oh, jeez. Oh, Heath. What are you going to do with me, Heath? What are you going to do with me? The real question is, what job am I going to have on Friday? That's what you'll do to me, is you'll give me Selkirk Yard, or Croton Yard rather. Start throwing trains at me. Although actually, I am kind of excited to see how the layout runs now that you've got your new tracks in place. I'm excited to see how ops work with the new op scheme in place here. So I'm looking forward to that. Make me the dispatcher. You know what, Thomas? I do very much enjoy dispatching. So I would not be opposed to that. Well, I'd be slightly opposed to that because I do enjoy running trains on Heath's layout too. Because proto throttles are fun. But In any case, I do enjoy dispatching. I mean, if no one else wants it, I'm happy to take North Yard. I enjoy yard switching, so I would be fine to take North Yard. Because I don't think I've actually done in any iteration of ops. I don't think I've ever done the North Yard. So unless there's someone who has more experience with it and wants to do it or anything like that, I would be happy to take North Yard. Might take me a minute to get myself oriented, but then I really love being Yard Master. Okay, it's centered on the bay right here. Excuse me. You always volunteer to be dispatcher on layouts. That's cool. Yeah, dispatcher is a fun job. I like to run a layout a couple times before I dispatch, but then I enjoy dispatching. Some of the most fun I've had on some layouts is dispatching. I've dispatched a couple of different layouts now, but I've done, I think 3 or 4 times now. I've done Jack Cutler's HO scale Pennsylvania Railroad, Juniata Secondary, which is up in Clifton Park, New York. And I'm a regular crew member up there, although I think I'm going to ask him to take me off the regulars list after this ops season, just because I think it would be more fair for the people who are up there to have better slots for operating. Doesn't really make a ton of sense for a guy who travels 2 hours to get to op sessions to be one of the regular crew members when there are plenty of other people in the area who want to operate. So I think I might give up my spot as a regular for one of them. But I've dispatched that layout several times and actually live stream dispatching that layout, and that's a fun layout to dispatch. But I should dispatch Phil Monat's CTC panel. That is, if I like chaos. Well, you've met me, Heath. You know I like chaos. So that sounds like fun. All right, get the logo on there. I'm going to zoom in because I forgot that I have the power to zoom. So I'm going to zoom in so you guys can actually see what it is I'm working on. Not that camera, this camera. Configure, zoom. Kyle! Good to see you, Kyle. Welcome in. Let's try that. That looks better. Going off the trees. Is it though? Is it different though, Heath? If I am chaos and I like myself, you know? Anyways, how are you doing tonight, Kyle? Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're holding in well. Your ballasting work looks like it's coming along well in your community posts I'm seeing. I'm so bad at actually interacting with posts I see online, but the ballast work looks like it's coming along really nicely. You're gonna hold a Saturday morning clinic called Dispatching and Donuts, hands-on clinic teaching how to dispatch a model railroad. That sounds like a fun time, Thomas. You're not sure how controlled it is if dispatchers playing checkers and not chess. Go. Cannot find Greg Dahl's layout online. See, that's such a big issue. So many fantastic layouts have 0 online presence. That's actually one of the big reasons why I started recording and posting all of the op sessions and layouts that I visit. Because I want these beautiful layouts and really nicely running layouts and fun to operate layouts to exist online. So that's why I've been, so diligent in trying to post everything that I visit. Very busy day at work. Thank goodness for Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne. You know what? Not a bad combo. Midrail, Missouri Northern. Where you have powder donuts to get white powder and everything. Yeah, just don't sniff it. Don't sniff the white powder. Otherwise, you're fine. Right, Heath? And Cheetos. Excellent. You need to order more barrels someday, but more track first. Yeah, that sounds like a... That seems like the right order of operations, Kyle. Something tells me that if you did it the other way around, you might run into some issues. There was something I was saying. Oh, my order from Pfeiffer Hobby Supply, right? That's what I had been saying earlier. So I did put in my order today. For anyone who doesn't know, Pfeiffer Hobby Supply, Mike Pfeiffer, has been an N scale centric. We're running an N scale centric online hobby store for many years now, and he is going to semi-retirement. So he is putting out a fairly big sale, up to 45% off on some items. I don't think I got 45% off on any of the things that I ordered, but I still got some decent deals. So I went ahead and put in an order. I was debating getting in Alco S2 switcher to pay for the B&CCS, but I have too many other projects on the workbench right now, and I don't have a yard for it to fiddle in. You know, I could have it run locals on the layout, but I have Jeeps and RS11s for that, and RS3s for that matter. So you could order the balance first, but we don't have the technology like the real railroads and the light track. Yeah, exactly. Let's see, I'm trying to get this nicely straight. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I think that's good. There's a Minnesota Northern and the Missouri Northern. Missouri Northern looks like a big space. The write-up says it's only 3 operators and looks like no scenery yet. I forgot, why are we talking about this layout again? Something about dispatching? I don't recall. But anyway, so I was debating getting the S2. I would have gotten a silver model, which would be, has the speaker installed, but I would need to get an ESU decoder for it. But I decided against it. So instead, what I picked up was a pair of Microtrains 89-foot flats. That's going to go to my up-and-coming B&CCS trail-on flat car service. And then I picked up 3 decoders. I picked up 2 TCS CNGPs, one for zone track spot. That's what it was. Thank you, Heath. So I picked up two of the CNGP decoders. One is going to go into a B&CCS GP40. The other is going to go into a New Haven GP9, which I've been wanting to get a decoder in for some time and just never gotten around to it. So I'm looking forward to those. And then I also got a TCS board replacement decoder to put into my Amtrak F40PH, so I can run a pair of F40s on T-Track layouts. Am I paying attention to my own stream? Occasionally. From time to time. I also, at some point in the somewhat near future, I want to get an extra shell for the F40. So it's a Kato F40 PH, and they have a fair number of spare shells available on their website, I believe. I have to double check that, but I believe they should. But what I want to do with the spare shell is I want to paint it in Amtrak Phase 2 paint. That way I don't need a whole other locomotive, but I can do a Phase 2 F40 leading my Phase 1 SDP40F. You don't think you have your new waybills on? Yeah, you should update that. That's a good thing to have online, Heath. It's a good thing to have available for people to reference. Okay, got that on there. Next decal. We'll do the reporting marks. Really I like to trim my decals tight to the numbers and letters because it means less film to have to try and hide. Do you pay attention to your own chat? Yeah, that is a good question. List of layouts in Minnesota is crazy. Website is already listing Minrail 2027. Wow, that's cool. Maybe someday I'll make it out there. For Minrail. Got a long time before I can get there, though. Can't even make it to East Coast events at this point in my life, much less out towards the west, out in the Midwest and West. If you wait long enough, do you think the dog will take herself out? You might. I don't know if that's a game you want to play, Heath. I don't know if that's something you want to discover. What do I use as a varnish over decals? So I use my process for decaling. I do the paint, then I seal with. Right now I'm using Tester's gloss coat still, just because I haven't found anything yet that I like to shoot in my airbrush that works better. I do a couple layers of that to seal the paint on and give a nice surface for the decals to grab. But some sort of gloss medium, gloss clear. Then I do the decals. I do a brushing of Microscale Industries Micro Sol. Yeah, Micro Sol over top of the decals to soften all the decal film. Once that's softened and dried, then I do another layer of the same gloss clear over them to seal the decals and kind of hide the film, any film that's still left. And then I actually picked this up from Paul Stamp. I picked up that I'm just using Krylon matte finish for my flat clear over top of everything. Just a rattle can of Krylon matte finish does the trick. So that's my decaling process. And then I do weathering and then another layer of matte clear to seal that in as well. Just realized that the session I tried to stream, John Chester was also there, who will also be there on Friday. Fascinating. That'll be cool. That'll be good to see him again. And I hear that Lee will potentially be there as well. It'll be good to catch up with Lee. So it seems like it'll be a good session. Next time I can join your show, Heath. I'll put it to the test. I will be the sadist you never want. That's funny, Kyle. Sorry, I stole the stream's light. I just need to see where these letters end quickly. There you go. Me, Chester, Lee, and Dan Shepard. Dan Shepard sounds like a familiar name too, but I can't place it, so I don't know. Maybe I'll get there and I'll recognize his face. Either way, should be fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to catching up with Lee. I chat with him online all the time, but it'll be good to catch up face to face. I'm trying to remember where I think we first met in Syracuse last year, Lee and I, and then Island Ops, and then all sorts of stuff from there. Dan, that's probably where I've seen his name then, because I've seen a couple of Cannonballs. So that could be it. Dan Shepard sounds like the name of someone from an 80s metal band. Yeah, I mean, that too, Kyle. Absolutely that too. I agree with you there. That's funny. I don't know if we're going to get to this locomotive tonight, considering it's already 10:30 and we only have 4 decals on the, well, about to be 5 decals on the car here. I want to at least get the one side done here. Now, this car doesn't have nearly as many decals as my 50-foot PS5344s. Probably half as many. Those have, I think I counted 58 decals per car. These only have probably 20 per car, roughly. 20 to 30, somewhere in that range. So, a little more reasonable. But, still, a lot of decals. Those, let's do the Pullman Standard PS1 mark before I forget. So, find that on the sheet here. It's right there. Before I lose it on the sheet. There we go. Come on. 58 decals per car. That's as bad as my military jet model. Yeah, well, I might have went a little bit overboard on that. And theoretically, this car should have two more decals on it than it actually does, because I forgot to print. I forgot to design ACI labels for it. But here's that car with 58 decals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Times 2 is 52. 53, 54, 55, 56, 58, 58, 59, 60 decals on the car. And I did it to myself. I designed the decal set. But it has every bit of lettering that the prototype car should have of a, you know, given the prototype car. It's a freelance car, so it's obviously not going to be quite what it's not going to be a prototype for it. But I used, you know, I took a bunch of images of Pullman Standard PS5344 and sent to per diem box cars. Did them up. You know, use them as bases for my lettering set, and then design the decals from there. And so it has every lettering piece that the average Pullman Standard 5344 had. And honestly, I've gotten to the point. I've done that one in HO. I've done that one in HO. I did a PS 5277, which had the exact same decals, just 5277 instead of 5344. So I did one of those. So that's 2 in HO, and then I've done 1.5 in N scale so far. And I want to finish the 1 in N scale, and then I want to do another couple in N scale. And then I've sent out decal sets to 4 folks, 2 in HO, 2 in N. Folks who won the giveaway back in November, not December, on my diabetes awareness live stream. So 58, yeah. So the set had 58, and then I added 2 Circa certified decals on there from the Circa set, which brought it up to 60. All right, there's that. Exacto. Next decal will be new 747. Off. Yeah, I've become quite the decaling whiz over the last year, between lettering and decaling so many locomotives and so many decals on a handful of cars. I've gotten quite good at decaling. Over the last year. Okay, so let's write about the sill line in line with the lightweight. Okay. Speaking of decals, Heath, you got the entire set of cars for the Walther Circus train, right? Ooh. Heath and Circus trains. name a more iconic duo. I'll wait. Alright, while we're here, before I continue on with this sheet, let's do the arc decals. Here, Heath. What arc decal do you want on this car? You tell me. So we got large black text, which I don't think will look very good on the red, but if you want it, we'll do it. We've got large white text, large black text, white background, large white background, red text, and then we got small of all of those as well. And then we've got black patch, white text, white patch, black text, and red patch, white text. That one, oh, of course. My default is typically I go small, white text, no backdrop is what I've done. That's what I did on the diabetes awareness car. But I would be fine with doing one of the white backdrop ones, or one of the patches. I probably wouldn't do the black one on the red car. It's just too dark to really become legible, I'd think. But if you want one or the other, let me know. Otherwise, I'll do the white font, no background. For anyone who doesn't know what the ARC decals are, check out the Short Line and Regional Carriers of America Facebook page. Basically, it's a fictional certification, car certification organization who does maintenance on rail cars for railroads who are members. 2 whole set. Did your red elephant car come without decals? Is it just painted? All right, and yeah, I got you, Heath. I'll just do the same one I did on the diabetes awareness car. And I'll do that right now. But yeah, so ARC stands for the Association for Railcar Conformance. No Joey here to yell at me for getting it wrong, but luckily I got it right this time. But formed in 1947 after the Second World War to maintain a certain standard of railcar railcar maintenance across the nationwide fleet of member carriers. They were a little bit slow on some pickups, so a lot of the bigger roads dropped out in the 70s. In order to save money on membership fees, but also because ARC was a little bit slow on the pickup on some things, but then it became an organization that started really catering to small railroads. So it formed quite the community around it, but there were still some discrepancies and inefficiencies, and a lot of those were addressed by the creation of the Short Line and Regional Carriers of America in 2002. And by 2004, ARC had officially been disincorporated, and member roads joined into Circa. Let's get this build date on there. Get this up out of the way, that way you guys aren't all blind again. Build date goes under the left arm of the logo. Okay. There we go. Now I need the car data, and I think that's pretty much it for the side of the car, right? Yep, car data, and then I need the car end reporting mark, and then we will move on to our final project of the night. Now that this one will still be done. Or not be done, it'll be partly done. It'll be at a stopping point. Bring this down. White on light blue is very hard to see, as it turns out. That right there. Cut that right there. Cut this right here. And then let me cut the other side as well. Get rid of that. Back to work. Sounds good, Kyle. Thanks for tuning in. Always good to hear from you. Keep up the good work on your ballasting, and hope you can get some more tracks soon. Keep going. Have a good rest of your shift, and see you around. Get this decal down. There we go. Let's do it like that for now. I won't do the final fitting until I get the other piece done. That way I can align them both. Oh shoot, I never cut off the bottom piece of that. All right, let me trim that real quick. Just because it's gonna bother me otherwise. There we go. It would have bothered me that there's just a bit of extra film sticking out. So I'm glad that I noticed that. Not that I'm sure Heath would have even ever noticed it. But I would have known, and that's bad enough. Hey, how you doing, Ed? Good to see ya. How's things been? How's second shift been treating you, or third shift, or whatever shift you're working nowadays? How's work been treating you? I'll put it like that. Here we go. All right. That side of the car is done. Let me do the end of the car, and then we will jump over to cleaning up some modeling work I did on this GP40-2. So we can wrap the stream in 15 to 20 minutes. Just got home from work, grabbing food. Nice. How you been? It's been a little bit. Okay. Let's go to the end. There. Let's get this decal on. Let's work on camera. That way you can actually see. That's a lot of film around that decal, but oh well. I'll deal with it. I'll make it do. There we go. One side of the car is officially complete. One half of the car, anyway. So that's that project at a stopping point. Which means now we can jump to this project. Huzzah! So this is the shell from an Atlas GP40-2. I've decided I am going to do at least some amount of super detailing on this model because I've got the parts, so I might as well. So I'm going to see if I can get some fans to replace these. The only thing I'm not sure about is technically the era that I, or the time period when my railroad would have bought this unit. It should have the earlier style of grills, but no one really makes that as a detail part. I don't know. I might try and do it before I trim this all out. I might try and do it out of some jewelry wire and see how it comes out. But I haven't decided yet. In any case, it'll get a roof beacon. It's got to get a horn and stuff. I've got to figure out where the rest of my parts for this this here unit went. But what I did was I went onto the nose here. I drilled out a bit on the nose, So you can kind of see and put in a nose-mounted headlight, because this is going to be based off of Seaboard Coastlines GP40-2s. Basically, the idea is that SCL picked up their first order in 1972 of GP40-2s from EMD. 1974, they placed another order. EMD started working on it, got it as far as actually almost being done painted, you know, getting the black paint on and starting to mask things up for yellow striping, when SCL canceled the order, kind of leaving EMD holding the bag. So they finished painting the units, just didn't put any lettering on them, basically, any report, you know, didn't put Seaboard Coastline on the side and the numberings on the side. But they finished painting them otherwise, and they were just on the lot, so to speak, at EMD, when in 1974 the B&CCS came around asking for SD40-2s to be added to CNW's order and picking up some MP15 ACs. And so while they were there, the B&CCS picked up 3 of these cancel order units. The SCL would then go on to actually place another order in 1978, and they would actually pick up that order, and I think even a third order of GP40-2s. But this is a fictitious order that I made up that got canceled just in time for my railroad to swoop in. So if I grab my mouse real quick and do some work here, paint schemes, B&CCS, locomotives, EMDs. And then do this. And do that. So this is what most of the units will, 3 of the units will look like. The railroad will have bought, I think I did 4 units, either 3 or 4 GP40-2s. I can't recall which. I think 4. So 765 will be the bicentennial unit, but 766, 67, and 68 will all be in this scheme, which is basically the Seaboard Coastline scheme with, yellow infill B&CCS logo on the nose, pulling for New England instead of what the SCL had, which is pulling for you, I think it was here, on this battery box. I moved it to underneath the cab, on the battery box under the cab, just because I feel like it fits better there. And then just white B&CCS lettering and white lettering there, and otherwise it's an SCL locomotive. So, and I want to do lighting right, so I'm gonna have the upper light be a gyro light and an emergency gyro, and I'm gonna have the lower lights be the headlights. So I need to do a little bit of cleanup work on this model so that I can actually have these low mounted headlights be presentable. So let me quickly get that out of here. When you were on second shift on your old job, when you got laid off, you're transitioning to first shift. Training for your new job is second shift, and then you'll be working first shift. Oh my goodness, yeah, your sleep schedule is going to be absolutely destroyed. I'm sorry, Ed. That's really rough. Yeesh. Wow. That's brutal. All right, I'm going to grab my pin vise. I'm going to actually drill out these headlights before I do anything else. Check the diameter here. Is that too big? Actually, that does look just right. if a touch oversized, but I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to let me adjust the camera a little bit, and then I'm going to zoom it back out a little bit. Sure, that looks like good. So this model is going to be 765, which is going to be the bicentennial unit. So it's not going to get that seaboard coastline scheme. But I do plan on eventually modeling at least one locomotive in that scheme, because I think it came out nice. I'd originally considered doing Western Pacific, but then I was looking into the WP's order, and it just didn't. The years didn't work out the way I thought they would. The WP ordered their GP40-2s much later, in the early 80s. So I would have had done a lot of monkeying with years to make those units make sense. Trying hard to not push too hard as I'm drilling here. You really want to make a dummy unit Thomas, but you don't have the materials to make one for HO. Ah, well, first of all, welcome, Miguel. Good to have you here. And yeah, you'd have to get some. You'd have to get some, you know, it would take some doing, but it's definitely, it's not too far out of possibility. So that would be neat. We're getting there. We're getting there, slowly but surely. I would love to have a C636P. That would be a lot. That would be a rather intense modeling effort, but that would be really fun. I've seen someone do it. Actually, I think I showed you, Ed. I saw someone do it on the Diesel Detailer forum. That's where I learned about the 636P. And man, is it cool. But yeah, that would be a rather intense modeling effort. That would be a pretty intense kit bash. And I don't think I'm quite there yet. Eventually, maybe. Maybe in my history, Amtrak picked up a couple. They ordered a couple from Alco around the time that they ordered the SDP-40F to, you know, trial new 6-axle power. I don't know. Well, that is if Alco would have lasted that long. So that would be another change that would have to be made. I don't know. I wouldn't. That's a change I wouldn't mind making. Is Alco lasting a little longer, lasting into the 80s, late 70s, early 80s. But yeah, I love the concept of the 636p. Someone had a shell for sale? What? Was it 3D printed? Also, was it N scale? That's the important question. Ah, dang it. I did the thing I was trying to not do, but it's okay. It's going to be easier in the long run. I popped the headlight out of the nose here, but long term, this is going to make this job a lot easier. This drilling job. Because it means I'm not fighting with trying to not push it out of the shell. I can apply a lot more force to the bit here. Come on. Okay, there we go. I believe the Cal unit was originally designed for the Santa Fe before Amtrak and the closure of Alco. That wouldn't surprise me, because they did have their Cal unit GEs as well. The, what was it? The U30 CG, I think, which then led to the Pooch in the Amtrak era. P30CH. So hearing that they were designed for the Santa Fe would not surprise me in the slightest. They liked their passengers trains to be sleek, even in the into the 60s when freight style long hoods, non-Cal units were being used on roads like the SP and the UP. All around them. All right, let's see if I can. Let's see if we can make this happen here. Oh, pardon me. Goodness gracious. What did I need? I need that. Okay. Let me get this nicely aligned. Good. Check to make sure it's okay. Front to back. Looks okay. Looks okay. All right. CA glue. Go. I need to cut a new end on this. No. Yes, it was 3D printed. They also did the shell for the ACE 3000 and the Black Maria. The Black Maria is another unit that I would love to model, but that's one that I actually have I could actually make a pretty good case for trying to model a Black Maria, considering they were trialed on the New Haven. That one I could make a pretty good case for modeling. But like I said, the all-important question of what was the scale? Was it N or was it HO? Because my guess would be probably HO. The ACE 3000 is cool too, by the way. For anyone who doesn't know what the ACE 3000 is, totally look it up. It's a fascinating concept. I think it was during the oil crisis of the 70s that they came up with the ACE 3000, but it's basically a hyper-modern steam locomotive. It's built like a box cab, with like a diesel-style cab, but it was like a double articulated or something like that, or a triplex or something. Whatever it was. A heck of a piece of engineering. Oh, goodness. Getting sleepy. Guess that means it's almost time to wrap up stream here. Kind of annoying about how many diesels expand, especially from North America, and have small differences. Not sure if that's a hot take or not. I don't think that's a hot take, especially in the modern era. Everything's a GEVO in North America. Everything's a General Electric Evolution Series locomotive, basically. I understand what you're saying about the small differences. For me, that's what I enjoy. I enjoy, noticing the small differences and learning about them and learning how to tell them apart. But I also totally understand how that can be kind of frustrating for someone who doesn't really care to, doesn't care to learn about, all the little differences because it's not what you're interested in. Totally get that. So I could totally see where that could get kind of confusing and frustrating if you're like, well, but it looks the same. And then people are telling you, yeah, but it's wrong. You're wrong for saying it's this or that. But it's also taken me a long time to learn all of the differences that I've learned. For a while, when I was on the younger side, every 4-axle was a Jeep 40. Every 6-axle was an SD40-2. and every steam locomotive was whatever, a Daylight or a Thomas. But I learned, and I've grown to really enjoy spotting the differences. But like I said, I totally can see how, for someone who doesn't really, you know, for them it is, for you it might not be that deep, and you're just like, well, I don't really care, it just all looks the same to me. And I get that, so I don't know if it's necessarily a hot take, but I totally see what you're saying. And that's part of the reason why, like, the reason why I'm putting this nose light in on this engine. Not a lot of engines had the nose light like this. So it'll make it a unique spotting feature, even among the rest of the engines that my railroad owns. Only these units will have the nose headlight. It's because they're Seaboard Coastline design. So I find that neat. I find that super interesting and super fun. So that's, I guess, my very long response to your question or statement or whatever. So all right, there we go. Yeah, I'm much happier with how this looks with the holes drilled and with a little bit of modeling putty to fill in some of the gaps. Give me 1 second, let me get the light going on my phone. Whatever, you can kind of see through. Just trust me. I think it looks much nicer, so. Alright, so with that said and done, I'll let that all dry overnight. Let's do a quick recap here, and then I'm going to hop off stream so I can go get ready for bed to go to work in the morning. So we went ahead and did some starting coat weathering on this Penn Central gondola for Corey. Some nice rust on there for him. You know, starting of rust and starting of interior rust wash. We did half of the decaling on this Balfour and Colucci Creek Southern boxcar, which will be going to Heath on Friday, which I think is coming out very nicely. And we touched up the nose light and drilled the holes for the nose light on the B&CCS GP40-2. So, that's said and done. I hope you all enjoyed tonight's stream. I know I did. It's always fun to hop on live with you all out there and chat and work and just generally have a good night. So, I hope you all enjoyed as much as I did. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and I will see you all on the next track. Have a good one, folks.